Hello, welcome to Postcards 19. I've taken this from my album, which is probably the most inspired of titles, Black and White. So all the cards you're going to look at are photographs. They are postcards. Can be used to be sent through the post, but as far as they go, let's have a look. Now, what do you think this is? I think you know full well what this is. This is an Amy Lou Kitching card, and it was runner-up in the Boomerang photograph competition. I suppose some years ago. It doesn't actually a date on it. And then it says on the back, contraception clinic, Wednesday, 12 to 2. So if you did want to know when a contraception clinic is, in terms of time, then I can't tell you where it is because I didn't write this. Now you know, but it is actually the bottom of somebody's feet. And here's something a bit more on a higher level. I don't know. Now, what do you make of this? It's Greek. I'm just cheating because I'm reading the back. It's from the National Museum of Athens. It's the head of Poseidon. I suppose he and Neptune were linked, weren't they? Because they did the same thing, but were called different names. I've never got what the word is that links the two together. If anybody could tell me, I'd be absolutely delighted. There we are. This is the art edition, it says. And it seems to have been stamped. Don't quite know what that's achieved. Anyway, there you are. There's a distant gentleman. Looks quite huffy, doesn't he? Do you think he looks huffy? Hard to tell, perhaps. This is Victor Hugo from the Bibliothèque Nationale, which is in Paris. It even says their telephone number, so you want to give them a quick buzz, you can. There it is. And there's Victor Hugo. What did he write? Can you remember? I'm not going to tell you. You should work it out for yourself. Now, I've got more copies of this card than any other in my collection. Point is, it's nothing unpleasant. I don't think it is. It is. Hang on, give me a chance. It's a fashion promotion image. And it's a boomerang card. Looks like this sort of joined on gas masks. I think it's the same person with mirror image. And here they are again being mirrored. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? I thought that was quite good. Now here's something a bit more local to me. This is Anna Maria Pacheco, and the head of John the Baptist. It's said that it was a Mason that first called John the Baptist Jack. Anyway, there's John. Looking decapitated, I suppose, is the only word you could use. And this is from Winchester Cathedral, and it was taken 30 years ago. And it was issued on the anniversary of the Hampshire Sculpture Trust. I think it's perfectly ghastly and inappropriate in a cathedral. I see the sun is just breaking through this stained glass window, which is the best bit, probably. I know I'm being cynical, but for goodness sake, is that appropriate in a building that's 4 or 5, or I know even 600 years old in places? It's a very mild card. It's cards like this I like the best of all, really. It's not been cut properly. Look, they cut the top off, but they went for the framing. This is a photochrom card from London and Tunbridge Wells, and it is the heart of the New Forest. In other words, it doesn't quite specify where it is. Don't think that spoils our enjoyment, does it? There we are. The branches reach across, and we are in sepia. Now, this next card has more than a little association for me. Look. This is the artist Sir Stanley Spencer. Spencer was bracketed in with J.M.W. Turner, considered to be the finest painter, portraitist, possibly, I should be saying, ever from England. There he is, with his pram wheels, his trolley, and his easel. It says Stanley Spencer, R.A., Royal Academy, Academician, I think we should call that. Well, that's what he was. 1891 to 1959, going painting with his pushchair. It is printed by print consultants from Reading, and it is part of the Cookham, because that's where he lived. He bracketed in with the Beatles. He painted, they sang about that which they knew, and that's what you're recommended to do. And there's old Stan. He would put religious works in his paintings, and then he'd put a picture of, somebody walking past who he knew or something like that. Or he'd have all the graves, throwing back their shutters and getting up on the day of, Second Coming. And then he'd have somebody gawping out the window saying, "Can you keep your voices down?" I don't think he intended it. I think he intended it ironically. I don't think he intended it humorously. I might be wrong. He didn't have a very checkered life. I've read a small number of books about him, and he was no everyday person. Anyway, there he was, a name to remember, perhaps, Sir Stanley Spencer from Cookham, which is in Surrey. I've been to the Stanley Spencer Gallery in Cookham, and it's quite small, but it's quite good. I expected it to be absolutely massive, and it was just one room. I didn't realise that. And I think you know this mustachio gentleman. It is not Adolf Hitler. Do you know who it is? If you're under the age of about 40, there's some small possibility that you don't. It is, in fact, Charlie Chaplin. And this is from a film, Payday, made in 1922 and released through United Artists. This is from the Swiss Collection Cinématique Suisse. But it was printed in the EEC, as if you needed to know that. Let's have a look at Charlie then. He's reading the Police Gazette. And it appears, I don't know whether these sheets are around, perhaps he's been doing a little painting. What do you think? Painting? A little painting? It's quite tells of a time long ago, a century ago. Charlie Chaplin lived to a ripe old age, didn't he? Here's a good one. I think that this is a card from the days when galleries, if you had some pictures taken, they could make your photograph, instead of something to be framed, they could make it into something to be sent. In other words, this is a postcard. This is a photograph which was privately taken and then made into a card. Spotlight photos of Great Britain, it says, and I paid the princely sum of £1 for it, which I think it's worth. And it's some ladies, I think it's by the sea. I can't necessarily prove that without X-ray vision. What do you think? By the sea? Seems to have a sort of, yes, I think so. And our last one, at least for now, is a lady who is almost in some distress, possibly caused as much by the pooch as by the wind. She looks like she's literally being blown to one side. And it says on the back, "My sister Sylvia." And some other things. William Foster. So perhaps William Foster was the photographer, or the name of the dog. Much more likely to be the name of the dog, I would have thought. She's restraining the dog, who seems to be coping quite well. Not sure there's anything else I can get out of this. Not really. There's a building at the back, which might be a barn, or it might be a house. And a tree disappearing out the back. It was intriguing to try and work out what it is. That was more or less all I was going to show you, but I'll just get out a couple more. Oh, here's one I'm sure you won't want to miss. And here's one that possibly you do want to miss, but you're not going to because I'm going to show it to you. I would do if I could ever get it out. There we are. Yes, these are the last two. Now, for 1 point, who are these two? I think it likely you may know in at least one of the two cases, if not both. It's Margot Fonteyn and Nureyev. In other words, they are ballet dancers. The Great Years by Keith Money, published by Harville. They are very great deals to me. Rudolf Nureyev. He seems to be almost forming a frame around the back, his ballerina. In fact, that is what he's doing. We may never know. And the last of the last is a young woman. Do you know who this is? I think I thought it was Marianne Faithfull. I couldn't be more wrong. She sprawled out on the sofa. It is in fact the actress Julie Christie, and this picture was taken in 1963 and reissued to support the National Portrait Gallery. And there is Julie. She's still alive and still working, I think. I bet she doesn't smoke anymore, though. There she is, looking back with resentment, possibly, and detachment. Well, this has been Postcards 19, just a short one. Hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more to come, of course. Goodbye.